Next on Worcester News Tonight, Massachusetts lawmakers are taking a look at changing the state's hunting laws and removing a centuries-old ban. Plus, thousands of young soccer players gathered in central Massachusetts, and they're cheering on the Team USA in the Women's World Cup. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Temperatures are rising in the city and people looking to beat the heat will soon be able to cool off at the city's beaches, pools and spray parks. All are opening for the summer on Monday. The city's 4 beaches, 2 spray parks and pool will be open to the public from noon to 7. This year, free swimming lessons will also be offered at Crompton Park Pool in July and August. And today would have been a good day to spend outside near the water. The temperatures reaching into the high 80s this afternoon. But it looks like we won't be so lucky with sunshine this weekend. Let's get a first look at our local forecast with meteorologist Michael Page.
A hot day all across central Massachusetts. Beautiful picture earlier from Worcester of the blue sky. Now we have some changes though heading into the weekend. At least today wasn't terribly humid. Dew point, the measure of moisture in the 50s. That's somewhat comfortable. This too will be changing and that's no coincidence. It turns more humid as we get into Saturday and as a result some downpours and storms will develop. First alert radar tonight though is quiet and it stays quiet for your evening plans. Clouds will slowly trickle in. We'll have a couple of downpours arriving in northern New England during the morning tomorrow, but then lunchtime into the afternoon, that's when the downpours and storms will become more widespread here in central Massachusetts. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the 80s with the humidity partially fed by that southwesterly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have the complete hour-by-hour timing on the storm threat for both Saturday and Sunday, and of course the 10-day with a lot of details on July 4th.
Thousands of soccer fans cheered on the U.S. women's soccer team this afternoon as they took on France in the World Cup quarterfinal. Young soccer fans watching say they're inspired by the team. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us now live with more. Rosalind?
Anna, they were also playing in their own tournament. One coach says whenever the U.S. team is in the World Cup, he sees more girls taking an interest in the sport. More than 200 youth soccer teams are competing in the Massachusetts Tournament of Champions. In between trying to win their own trophy, many will watch the U.S. women's soccer team play France in a World Cup quarterfinal.
We're excited for the atmosphere that will be created and for so many people to have the opportunity to see the women's game.
The tournament takes place all weekend long at Massachusetts Youth Soccer in Lancaster. Many of the young girls have been watching the World Cup since the beginning.
It's nice to have a good team to look up to. It's really cool and inspiring and exciting.
Jay McLaughlin coaches the Shrewsbury girls' 7th and 8th grade team. He says whenever the U.S. team plays in the World Cup, there's more of an interest and more girls join his team.
They're able to kind of look up to these guys and really get a good feel for how the women's international game is played.
Massachusetts Youth Soccer says there is always coverage for popular male sports like football and baseball, and says it's important to see people taking interest in what these women can do.
It's number one at the moment. It's all anybody's talking about. So it's really fantastic for these young girls to have role models they can look up to.
Now, the U.S. team did beat France. They are now headed to the semifinal match against England on Tuesday. Anna?
All right, looking forward to that game. Thanks, Rosalind. A Worcester company claims the Encore Boston Harbor Casino project owes them $30 million for their work. Coughlin Electrical Contractors, Inc. claims the money is owed for work done ahead of the Everett Casino's opening on June 23rd. The Boston Herald reports the dispute dates back several months, and Coughlin Electrical's attorney sent letters to the Mass Gaming Commission. Wynn Resorts, who owns Encore Boston, says it's paid all its invoices related to the Encore project to the primary contractor, Suffolk Construction. The owner and operator of the Worcester Regional Airport has a new leader. Massport's board of directors approved a permanent CEO to lead the organization for the next 5 years. Lisa Weiland has served as Massport's port director since 2015. She increased revenues and advanced critical infrastructure projects there. Weiland was one of 2 finalists out of the 100 applicants. She will take over for acting CEO John Prankavicius. Board chairman Lou Evangelitis called Weiland the right person for the job. New recruits graduated in Worcester today to become police officers. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with one who says it's something he knew he wanted to do since he was in grade school.
It's an emotional day for 40 men and women as they graduate from recruits to police officers.
Class 0119. We made it.
The 23 weeks of police academy training isn't easy.
Hell, to be honest.
And for class president Santo Dell'Aquila, it was more than just classroom study, physical and first responder training.
There was a lot of extra work. People called me for any issue that they had. Every day I put out to the class, what we're going to do for the next day, what time I'm going to be there, the uniform.
The workload wasn't all new for the Worcester resident. Dell'Aquila has been in the Army for 6 years. He says he always wanted to be a police officer, and today is a big milestone in his life.
It still seems surreal. I'm still waiting for it to hit me. And back in grade school, we used to have officers that came in to talk with us. It was just, I just always wanted to be that type of role model.
This class is the first to be trained on police body cameras. Chief Stephen Sargent says the 26 new officers who are assigned to Worcester are well trained and will be beneficial to the department.
We've been involved with technology for quite a few years now. Worcester's well ahead of the game. We did have some retirement, so we do need some backfill, and we'll be able to increase our traffic division, our neighborhood response team.
Dell'Aquila's parents supported him throughout the journey. They say the new officers will take good care of the city.
Every night we found out what they did that day, so when they were going through every step and stuff, it's like we went through it with them.
So proud. The whole class worked so hard.
Chief Sargent says the new police officers will go to work on city streets right away. Dell'Aquila starts on Monday. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Controversy at a city-led youth symposium. When an organization gives a presentation the city describes as overly political. According to school committee member John Manfredo, Planned Parenthood delivered the presentation to 15 summer youth workers at the Worcester Youth Development and Professional Leadership Symposium. Manfredo says he was singled out by the organization as being against sexual education, but he says he's looking for an age-appropriate curriculum.
Then I found out what was said was wrong. It was incorrect because there's not anyone, Brittany, on the school committee that opposes sex ed. It should have not taken place, and I'm very disappointed to hear that it did.
Manfredo says the committee will look over the sexual education curriculum again when new standards are released by the state. The city says this was a mistake and the result of a miscommunication, releasing a statement saying the presentation was removed and discontinued from the overall curriculum as soon as we learned about its political advocacy content. Raquel Castro Corazzini says the goal of the symposium is to provide training to summer employees on topics including leadership, workforce development, and youth family development. For hundreds of years, there's been a Sunday ban on hunting in Massachusetts. Now lawmakers are looking to change it. Our Chandler Walsh spoke with one Central Mass senator who's part of the effort. She joins us now live with more. Chandler?
Anna, Senator Ann Goby says the Massachusetts Sunday hunting ban is a blue law, meaning it was created to reserve Sundays for religious activities. She says Massachusetts is one of a handful of states with the ban, but many of those states have exceptions to the rule. It's difficult for Joseph Afonso to take his family hunting with him. He works a 9-to-5 job on weekdays, and Saturday is his only option since there's been a Sunday ban in Massachusetts for hundreds of years.
When you have young kids, as I do, they have soccer, or they have hockey, or they have other pursuits that sometimes get in the way of being able to enjoy that function as a family unit.
Senator Ann Goby supports proposed legislation to remove the Sunday ban. There are 3 bills which look at archery, deer, and general hunting.
I've never experienced any sort of problem whatsoever. So, if we can coexist on these other 6 days of the week, why can't we coexist on one extra day?
Goby says the best option is compromise, allowing hunting on specific pieces of land.
And especially for private property. If it's your own property, I think that's a tough argument to say you can't use your own property or allow somebody else to use it.
Groups like the MSPCA oppose the legislation, saying Sunday allows the public to enjoy the outdoors without worrying about hunting conflicts. Marcia Mills lives 100 feet from hunting land. She says she's never had any issues, but can understand people who enjoy having Sundays off.
If I had small children and I knew there were hunters back in the woods, I wouldn't want hunters anywhere near them.
Afonso says hunting is important to controlling overpopulation. He'd like to see some compromises made.
That would be a huge win for the sportsmen and women of the state.
Senator Goby says the legislation would only allow hunting on certain hand-picked Sundays, not every week. Anna?
Now, Chandler, what kind of land does Senator Goby think would be a good compromise to allow hunting?
Right, so she's suggesting private property and also state land, which makes up about 4% of the Commonwealth.
All right, thanks for clearing that up. Our Chandler Walsh live tonight. Switching gears now, Habitat for Humanity volunteers busy Friday for the Operation Playhouse Build-a-thon in Worcester. Local sponsors sent teams of 8 to 12 people to build a playhouse for the children of veterans. Each team was given a theme and will present the finished product to a family. Volunteers from RE/MAX Professional Associates say it's a gratifying experience.
I just think it's a great opportunity for us as a community to give back to those who protect us and to kind of support veterans. Oftentimes veterans are away from their families, so the fact that we came together and volunteered for Habitat for Humanity and we get to present this to their family it's a wonderful experience.
Help them support their family while they're supporting us.
We did speak with one family who received the Playhouse. We'll have their reaction tonight at 10.